Hey up, I'm the Yorkshire Time Lord with his Doctor Who the dogs, Rose the cat. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that Doctor Who figure adventure that was part of Doctor Who the dogs. That was a lot of fun to do for the Who Figure Adventure Day. It was quite different doing a sort of stop motion video. I haven't done that since I was at school during an art class when we were taught how to do stop motion. So it kind of looks a bit amateurish in places, but it was a bit different and it was a lot of fun. And this week, back to normal with a look at a very obscure character from the Doctor Who universe. You know me, I'm the king of obscure. I do pick some very obscure characters for these videos. I mean, I'm pretty much the only person that could make a 5-minute video on characters who only appear in 2 comic strip panels in a comic strip story from 2008. This week is even worse than that. It's a character that only appears in backup strips of the Doctor Who Titan comics, the 10th Doctor Titan comics, and that is Rose the cat. Also known by, in something that sounds like it comes from the Cats movie, a big ball of fluffy, wuffly, cuddly, woodly stuff. I mean, obviously that's a play on wibbly wobbly tammy wimey, but it does sound like it could be from Cats. Now, Rose the cat is a cat that the 10th Doctor adopts to get over his loss of Rose. This takes place after Army of Ghosts' Doomsday, after she ended up trapped on Pete's World. And there's not really much logic, is there, when you think about it? He adopts a cat to get over a loss of Rose, but he calls the cat Rose. I mean, it is really good though, because I quite like that funny irony that he's trying to get over the character, but he decides to name the cat after the person he's trying to get over. And one of the things about it that's quite frustrating is that there was actually a rumour going around that the 13th Doctor was going to have a cat called Percy in Series 11, and Percy the cat was going to be one of the companions. Because I think that's a really cool idea, the Doctor and the cat on board the TARDIS. I think that's just a really fun madcap idea, and I'd love to see that. But those rumours turned out to be false. And that's such a shame, because I was looking forward to seeing Percy the cat travelling with the Doctor. I just think that's something that could be explored in the future, giving the Doctor a human pet like that. But, yeah, she's a that nice fluffy orange cat. Quite selfish like most cats are, but that's what's fun about cats, the way that they go after things for themselves, the way that they're like, ooh, feed me. That's one of the things that's great about cats. And she's also quite loving as well. I mean, she doesn't get along with the Doctor initially, but eventually she does get along with the Doctor. She travelled with K9, which is interesting because she didn't get on with K9 at all. K9 couldn't stand her, and that's just quite a funny play on cats and dogs and how cats and dogs are thought of typically to hate each other. I quite like that. But yeah, basically she'd try all these different sort of methods to try and help the Doctor get over the loss of Rose, and none of them would work. They're just terrible things, like things that you'd imagine cats would do. Just stuff like taking carcasses of dead animals to the Doctor and being like, oh look, here you go. Here's something to cheer you up. And another one was actually scratching on the Doctor's suit and leaving cat furs on his suit, so he had to wash it, which the Doctor wasn't amused by. But he still made a cat version of his suit for her to wear, although she might not have liked that very much. Now, at one point, she even forms a band with her, K9 and the Doctor, and they call themselves the Wibbly Wobblies. It's just really funny. It's really funny backup strips of the 10th Doctor comics. The fact that Wibbly Wobblies, because of Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, they call it that, this band that's created. It's quite amusing. And Rose the cat, being the kind of cat she is, just gets totally fed up of it and leaves the band. She just can't be bothered with it anymore, yet she was the one that set the band up in the first place. I love the little ironies like that in it. What's quite funny, given that the Doctor in the past has been like, don't interfere with history, you can't change history, is that she had a real lack of concern for the effects of time travel. She wasn't really that bothered about messing with time. And she'd often crossed her own time stream multiple times to avoid things that she found annoying, which has been the reason behind the band being created in the first place, her creating the band. She tried to meet with her past self to stop her past self creating a band. It's quite funny how she's so fast and loose with the rules of time travel. It's very much how it benefits her. And never mind what it does to the time vortex and the web of time. She even at one point sent a shockwave of paradoxes across time and space just to create a cat flap in the TARDIS. I mean, that's quite funny. She wanted just a rage could go in and out of the TARDIS with a cat flap. All that to create a cat flap. The strips are actually called A Rose by Any Other Name, which is quite a fun play on the fact that she's called Rose, which is not actually the Rose that we're familiar with. I quite like that kind of thing. And she's actually met various enemies of the Doctor. She met the Zygons, she's met the Cybermen, she's met the Weeping Angels, and she's met various alien allies as well, like the Hath, for example, and Sisters of Plenitude. So she's been around in the Doctor Who universe. And actually, later on, she becomes pet to the real Rose Tyler, the actual Rose Tyler. She joins like an agency to find someone else who needs her to get over someone. Of course, Rose wants to get over the Doctor because she can never see a Doctor again, so she ends up in Pete's world and becomes the pet of Rose Tyler. And that's something that I quite like. I quite like that, again, it's sort of ironic, this sort of namesake becoming the pet of the person that she's a namesake of. But, I mean, she does it at a good time, because she does it when the Doctor decides himself that he wants to find a new companion. So it's not like she's doing it to be spiteful or anything. She's doing it because the Doctor's moved on from Rose and it's time to find somebody else. Although that's kind of debatable, because the way he treated Martha, I mean, he still doesn't feel like he's totally got over Rose, but he's at least trying to move on and find somebody else. It's just a long process with his grieving and that. Anyway, what do you think about Rose the cat, if you even know who she is? Let me know in the comments section below.